Hello everyone, this is Princess Embla Nipa, the little teacher of Study Hub number 3. So for today, we will do the task 12, which is give example each of the learning principle as applied in the classroom setting or in real-life situations. Freud's work provides an insight into an important movement in psychology that helped transform how we think about mental health and how we approach psychological disorders. By studying these theories and those that came after, you can gain a better understanding of psychology's fascinating history. Piaget's theory of cognitive development helped add to our understanding of children's intellectual growth. It also stressed that children were not merely passive recipients of knowledge. Instead, kids are constantly investigating and experimenting as they build their understanding of how the world works. As such, Erickson's theory is useful for teaching, parenting, self-awareness, managing, and coaching, dealing with conflict, and generally for understanding self and others. The following is how to apply psychosocial development in the classroom. First, we have create projects that allow children to take charge of their learning process. Second, give children many small choices within acceptable limits. Third, talk with a child privately about poor choices. Fourth, know the difference between misbehavior and an exploratory misfire.
Good day everyone! For today's video, I will going to give at least one example of two theories, which is ecological system theory and sociocultural theory. According to Brumpenbenner, ecological system theory, if a child's parents are actively involved in the friendship of their child, for example, they invite their child friends over their house from time to time and spend time with them, then the child's development is affected positively through harmony and light. Sociocultural theory. For example, one culture teaches children to play with toys, while the other encourages them to play outdoors. Children from both cultures adapt to what their cultures teach them. If a culture encourages talking, they will learn to do so. Good day everyone. For today's video, I will going to give example of Edward Thorndike theories. First is the example of law of readiness. A law which states the learning is dependent upon the learner's readiness to act, which facilitates the strengthening of the bond between stimulus and response. Thus, an athlete who is highly motivated and eager to learn is more likely to be receptive to learn than one who is poorly motivated. Next is the example of law exercise. The law implies that one learns by doing and one cannot learn a skill. For instance, by watching others, it is necessary to practice the skill because by doing so the bond between stimulus and response is strengthened. Last is the law of effect by Thorndikes. Thorndikes would place a cat inside the puzzle box and then place a piece of meat outside the box. He would then observe the animal's effort to escape and obtain the food. Thorndike termed this the law of effect, which suggested that when satisfaction follows an association, it is more likely to be repeated. That's all.
Task 12. Give examples each of the learning principles as applied in the classroom setting or real-life situations. Classical conditioning. Classical conditioning, I can give example of us having or waiting on our recess. When the bell rings, it indicates that it's time to take and have our lunch or snack. And the second is operant conditioning. Everything that would to you is all depends on the behavior you have shown. If you show a good deed, you will receive a reward, but if you have done bad things, you will receive a punishment you deserve. That's all. Thank you.
So now I'm giving the examples of the learning principle as applied in the classroom. So the first principle, the first learning principle that I'm going to give is the social nature of learning. It can develop an environment that actively encourages well-organized cooperative learning. When learners co-construct works with their peers, their learning has the power to reface their social context, giving their work more meaning. The social dimension to learning is critical to developing agency. So, yun. So, dito nga sabi dito sa social nature of learning, the more uh, we reface our social context, yung mabibigay sa amin, for example, like sa grouping sa loob ng classroom, the more we study it as a group. Yun yung mga sabi dito, when learners co-construct work with their peers, sa mga kaibigan, sa mga classmates, ganyan, the more na matututo sila or the more na magigest nila yung isang topic or isang context. So, I also have the emotions are integral to learning. So have the recognize of individual differences. So dito sa classroom naman or sa real life, we can also have to apply this by yung mga tinatawag one by one by those teachers for us, para ma-recognize din namin kung gaano yung hanggang saan yung abilidad namin through learning. So
Our OER is Google. The link is verywellmind.com.